أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I'm really excited to have Muntazir here as my guest for talking about how to recite the Quran. And we will be going through his journey in terms of recitation of the Holy Quran and see how he was inspired and how he's reached to where he is just now. And then he will honor us with a recitation of a page from the Holy Quran, and we will highlight key fundamental aspects of his recitation, just so that we can learn from how he's recited. What was it that made you so passionate about the Holy Quran?
I know it sounds really cliche to say because we've gone through parents and we've gone through teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you can guess what the third one is. It's the people around you.
Yeah.
I think especially, and it all links together when you're sent to those classes. You can either be one of those students who sits at the back of the class and is being forced to go there.
Yeah.
Or you can be one of those people who actively participates and becomes part of a cohort or a class who will only push you further.
Mm-hmm.
And there are two elements to this that I have personally experienced. One is the members of the class who are a little bit older than myself, more experienced, who are more skilled, more talented in the Quran. Just to take some names that have really helped me: Muhammad Kazim Kanji, Brother Ali Manji. These are all people who are a little bit elder than me and who guided me throughout the time. And then also my classmates. We had a small class of about 5 people. And we used to, like I said, every Saturday morning we'd go and we'd learn the methods of reciting the Quran, and we would spur each other on. And I think that's what really drove us as a group to become more familiar and more in tune with the Quran.
Ahsan. That's really nice. I think it goes to show how having the right people around you, not just parents, teachers, but friends as well. You have been someone who's been very busy in terms of the recitation sphere, whether it's Quran, du'as, marthiyas, matams, qasidas, and almost you've kept yourself very busy and very present in that. What one advice can you give to any of our listeners, young or old, in terms of just finding that balance with everything and then focusing on the Quran specifically?
I think there's a lot I wish to say. I know time is of the essence. But first things first, I think your intention has to remain pure and sincere. I think if there is anything that takes you away from the acknowledgement that what you are doing is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that should be cut out of your life entirely. If you find that there are certain things that are appealing to you more than doing something for the sake of Allah, it is then time to remind yourself that anything you could recite, Surah Mulk in the beginning of a majlis, you could recite Hadith Kisa, or you could recite Qasida on the most packed occasion there is.
Mm-hmm.
Your intention is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I think that's one advice that I would is fundamental.
Now, really looking forward to hearing you recite. And inshallah, Brother Muntazir will be honoring us with a recitation from the Holy Quran. Which passage would you like to recite for us today?
Inshallah, we'll be looking at the start of Surah Al-Isra, which is the 17th chapter of the Holy Quran, and the beginning of also Juz 15. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. وآتينا موسى الكتاب وجعلناه هدى لبني إسرائيل ألا تتخذوا من دوني وكيلا ذرية من حملنا مع نوح إنه كان عبدا شكورا. وقضينا إلى بني إسرائيل في الكتاب لتفسدن في الأرض مرتين ولتعلن علوا كبيرا. فإذا جاء وعد أولاهما بعثنا عليكم عبادا لنا أولي بأس شديد فجاسوا خلال الديار وكان وعدا مفعولا. ثم رددنا لكم الكرة عليهم وأمددناكم بأموال وبنين وجعلناكم أكثر نفيرا. إن أحسنتم لأنفسكم وإن أسأتم فلها. فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة ليسوءوا وجوهكم وليدخلوا المسجد كما دخلوه أول مرة وليتبروا ما علوا تتبيرا. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
أحسنت طيب الله أنفاسك. Thank you so much for that beautiful recitation. So I just thought we'd discuss a bit about the passage that you've just recited in terms of highlighting particular elements of it. Firstly, qalqalas, very nicely recited with the qalqalas, especially towards the beginning. Subhana alladhi asra bi'abdihi. Now, qalqalas, as we know, 5 letters, qutub jad, and yeah, the famous. I think I can still hear Mali Murtaza Uncle Bandali saying, and just giving it that bit of an echo. But important not to overpronounce it, right, Murtaza?
Yeah. You don't want to give it a fatha. Abba. You don't want to do that. Subhanalladhi asra bi'abba is not what you want to do. Remember, it doesn't have a fatha on there. It's just a slight. It's sort of like a bounce. You know, you're bouncing off the letter almost.
Yeah.
Subhanalladhi asra bi'abdihi. So you're just trying to put a bit of an echo on there. As you're
I like to call them cave letters. Any reason? Why do you think I like to call them cave letters?
Cave letters?
Yeah. Because the echo.
The echo. So when you say, okay.
Subhanallah bi'abdihi. Yeah. So nice, very good. So just make sure that you're looking out for the qalqalas. Rule of ra. There are quite a few ra's over here, and I was being a Quran enthusiast and just being very picky. I was just loving how you're pronouncing the ra's, especially the fathas on them. There were a lot of ra's with fathas on them. Okay? Yeah. Care to explain what the rule of ra is, Muntazir?
So the rule of ra is that when the letter ra comes with a fatha or a dhamma, it's pronounced almost as a heavy letter, you could say.
Yeah.
Subhanalladhi asra. Asra.
instead
right?
of asra.
Instead
Yeah.
of asra.
Mm,
Subhanalladhi asra. Or over here on your screen, you can see ayah number 4.
yeah.
It ends with uluwan kabira
Ahsan.
as opposed to uluwan kabira. It's
Ahsan.
uluwan kabira.
Question though. Okay, we know with the fatha. What about the sukun here? Fil the ra has a sukun. How would you
Fil
pronounce the ra there?
ard. So that would depend on the letter that comes before it.
Hmm.
So if you see the letter before it, fil
Yeah.
ard, the
Yeah.
letter before it has a fatha,
Okay.
and therefore the ra would be heavy.
Ah, I see. So it
Fil
carries
ard.
the same quality
That's
as
correct. Yeah.
Ahsan.
However, just to note, when a ra comes that has a kasra, I'm not sure,
Mhm.
Marley, if you noticed any in this passage. Here, ayah number 3, the first
Yeah.
word,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't say dhurriya
Mm.
because I'm not using the heavy ra. Because it has a kasra, dhurriya.
Straight into the
ذُرِّيَّةَ مَنْ حَمَلْنَا مَعَ نُوحٍ.
I guess it's easy to pronounce it with a light mouth
Yeah,
anyways, right?
ذُرِّيَّة. But just to note, so when it's a kasra, you don't pronounce it with a heavy mouth.
Mm. Ahsan. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for your time and sharing your story with us. It was really, really nice to hear your story, especially growing up listening to Surah Al-Jum'ah and Surah Al-A'la by your parents, and then speaking about how Murtaza uncle was all our inspiration, and nice
Yeah,
to see that he inspired you as well. And yeah, I think I'm quite I love I can just sit back and listen to your pronunciation all the time, or first Khoja Arab, if you can call it that. But no, thank you so much for sharing your words of wisdom and your beautiful recitation.
Thank you, Imranali. And on this note, just we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that all of our teachers who have inspired us, all of the people who continue to work tirelessly for people of all ages, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they see the reward of their work both in this life and the hereafter.
Inshallah, inshallah. I think
Inshallah.
it's a good place to end with the Surah Fatiha for all those people who have touched our lives through the Quran and otherwise as well. Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.